Good morning, party peoples. Yeah, I said that because apparently I'm a DJ. I'm a soul DJ. Coming to you live or recorded from St. Simon's. And today I have my shop assistant here, Tofu. Everyone should said love vibes this way. So, if you're still subscribed to my channel, thank you for loving and supporting me, or for getting me and allowing me to keep my subscribers. I appreciate that. I guess I am ready to start coming out of my cocoon, and I don't think anyone ever feels ready for their first steps. I certainly don't, but here we are, and life is good. So what I really want to talk today about is, I'm not going to pull cards. I'm actually going to start sharing a lot of the stuff that I've been learning over the past year or so, and just helping people get on their path. So today I want to talk about psychic. What does it mean to be psychic? So I'm going to read you a definition. It says, relating to or denoting faculties of phenomena that are apparently inexplicable by natural laws. Also relating to the soul or mind, which we know of from Greek mythology, Psyche, who Cupid locked up so he could have her forever. Yeah. So, and then the third definition, obviously, a person considered or claiming to have psychic powers, a medium. That, while it's like, that's what everybody thinks, that's actually the meat and potatoes of today. Why, do you ask? Because we all psychic. It is my belief, and my, it's my belief that we are all psychic. That we are born psychic, and a lot of people don't think they are because it's latent within us. It's been suppressed for many, many, many generations, because if we wake up to our own power, well, the world will be a different place, and I'm hoping that more people will wake up and the world will become a much better place. Yay! All right, so what we're going to talk about today is the different types of psychic. And I wrote them down because my brain can't always remember, so, okay. So the first one we're going to talk about is clairvoyance, all right? This is a lot of what psychics claim to be is clairvoyant, and this is the ability to see. So I'm going to give an example of this. I am psychic. I do practice. Yeah, all right. So like maybe I'm asking a question to get an answer down for a client or a guest or whatever you'd like to call the people that you work with. And I might see, like one time I saw a tennis table, a ping pong table, and there's this ball going back and forth on it with two paddles. All right, that was the message. And although it doesn't always make sense, it doesn't always have to make sense, because sometimes when we get psychic message and it's not for us, it's for somebody, it makes sense to that person. It doesn't necessarily make sense to you. Sometimes you may have an intuitive feel on how that relates to the person or the situation, but yeah. So clairvoyance, the ability to see. And when we talk about seeing, we're not talking about with these eyes. We're talking about when you close your eyes and you get a vision. Or you can have your eyes open and have a vision. One time I was driving, and my car was in the shop, and I was driving my dad's old beater truck. It's a white truck, real chunky, and as I'm at the stoplight, I just had a vision pop into my head of a mangled car mess, a white car that was mangled. I could feel the crunch and everything. And yeah, I was like, oh my God, am I gonna get in an accident? And I just claimed it as not mine. And literally, like 3 minutes later, I drove by an accident of a white car that had run into a wall, which is what kind of how I perceived my vision. And it had just happened. So it might have just happened when I saw the psychic image or right after. But yeah, so that's clairvoyance. Okay, the next one, clairaudience. Clairaudience means to hear psychically, okay? So when you do hear psychically, it is gonna sound like you're hearing with these ears. Sometimes you'll hear something and be like, did you hear that? No, I didn't hear anything. Okay, I'm going crazy. You know, sometimes you are going crazy, and sometimes it's just a psychic message. All right, so I'm gonna think of some examples of this. Ooh, sometimes it's, all right, so I read tarot cards, and I pulled this one card, the Sun, and it has many meanings, but sometimes when I pull that card, one of the things that I hear is my grandma saying, everything's coming up roses, baby. And that's the definition or the meaning for the card for that specific time, which is, it doesn't even matter because this isn't a lesson about cards. Another way that it can come through is like literally hearing message. Sometimes it's hearing things. One time I was staying up on a mountain doing my studies and stuff at this very active place, and yeah, in the middle of the night, what I started to see were these lights were keeping me up, and like little specks of light, and I just felt like it was, you know, something from the other side, and it's kind of freaking me out. So I was like, you know, if you want to communicate with me, it's late at night, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. I'd appreciate it if you could, like, you know, maybe you could tell me what you want. Oh my God, I shouldn't ask for that, because they totally listened to me. And yeah, what I got was like kids running around my room for the rest of the night. I just like footsteps and laughter. That's what I heard all night. I'm trying to tell them to be quiet, and then there were doors slamming. So yeah, there's nothing in my room that's making sounds. I don't know if other people would have heard it, but it was very clear to me. So clairaudience, that is the ability to hear psychically. It could be voices, it could be message, it could be sounds. And just because you hear a sound, don't underestimate the importance of it. Just like when you get a vision, you might not understand it right away, but it may be very impactful for the person that you're working with, or it may reveal itself to you later. Another fun incident of hearing was when, close to when I started my journey, I was doing some smudging, and as I was smudging, I was hearing drums, and I didn't know what it meant at the time, but it was a really beautiful sound. It really, you know, struck the chords of my soul. And yeah, later on, through past life regression, I find out that I was a shaman in a past life. Cool. A lot of drumming there. Cool. So, yeah. All right, moving on. What is the next one? The next one is clairsentience. This is feeling. Oh, this is a really interesting one. Okay, so clairsentience, y'all are jealous of this blanket robe, aren't ya? Clairsentience is psychic feeling, okay? Now, when we're talking about psychic feeling, we are not necessarily talking about empaths, okay? Empathy is a way of reaching out and connecting with people psychically. I guess you could call it empathy. But you see this a lot in like those haunting shows. These are really good examples of it. I'm going to retract my statement about empathy because I'm not fully researched on that and I don't want to mislead you. But empathy technically is being able to pick up on other person's or people's feelings. So, like I said, we all psychic. So if you look at these haunting shows, what you're going to notice is you'll have a psychic walk in, and the psychic will be like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I'm really, really nauseous. I feel super sick. Oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, it's really painful. And then, they leave, and then they're like, well, what'd you pick up in that room? And then the psychic says it, and then they'll say something like, oh, that room was used for childbirth and, taking care of sick people. So that's what a psychic's feeling. So I'm going to give you some examples of clear sentience that I have experienced. This is actually twice. So twice I performed mediumship where I call message from the other side. That sounds so creepy. And during that time, I had extreme pain in my left shoulder and my neck, like this. And I found out, these are two totally separate times, but situations, but both of those people that I felt that for had passed from an unexpected heart attack. So I was feeling their pain symptoms, which I'm going to tell you, people think like, oh man, that's so cool. And it is cool because, wow, how can we be connected like that? That's so freaking cool. But yeah, when you're experiencing it, it's really not like super cool. It might be better if I was like experiencing an orgasm, although that would be very awkward given any situation where that might happen. I take that back. I don't know that I would like that. But yeah, it's when you're feeling somebody's feelings. Understand that feelings don't necessarily mean emotions, but it's physical. You can get like a headache. Yeah, but that was totally wild. So that is clear sentience. And clear sentience is, I would say that's probably one of my primary clairs. Okay, moving on. Then we have clairalience, which means that you're an alien. Just kidding, we're all aliens. This is clear smelling or smelling something psychically. So in that time when we were doing, I told you I was doing a mediumship, and one of those times I was doing it in a group setting with a bunch of other psychics. How cool. And we were sitting there in a circle, and it was kind of like an olden days seance, but it wasn't creepy. If you do things right, it's not creepy. It's actually a lot of openness, love, healing, peace. It's beautiful. But clairalience, smelling. During that time, somebody was smelling lavender. And it turns out that that was something that was used to ease the person in their sickness before they had, passed on. What are some examples of clairalience that I've had? When I was staying up on the mountain doing my studies, it was in October. I would smell roses all over the place, and I was told that there was a founder of the facility that was very drawn to roses. So they would have roses everywhere when that person was alive. I also smelled cigars a lot, and that person really likes smoking cigars. So by smelling that, that was, how does that translate? That translates as that person is there and present, that soul, that consciousness, that energy was there and present and willing to have discourse or letting you know they're there. And if you need something, they'll participate. What's the other time? Any other times? Oh, actually, I experience this a lot. I don't often think about it. It's almost common to me. So if sometimes I will smell a food, like a meal, and it will make me want that meal so bad. And I might go over my mom's in like 2 days, and then when I go to my mom's house, she's cooking that meal, and I haven't said anything to her. So, yeah. So now when I smell something, I kind of have it in my head like, ooh, I don't even have to ask. It's just going to happen, right? It's going to happen, right? And I'm not going to lie. I'm still learning. So sometimes I question, is it going to happen? But yeah, I'm growing more confident in it. And remember, when you start to practice your psychic, it's okay to question it. But the more you practice it, the more comfortable you become and less doubt that you have. All right. So the next one is clairgustance or clairgustance. I don't know. I didn't look up the pronunciation key on this, and that's okay. But that is the ability to taste. And I would put that hand in hand as examples. Like when I smell something really vividly, it's almost like I can taste it. But yeah, sometimes people will get a taste in their mouth. I can't say that I have any direct examples of this one. I have brought myself into meditation and been able to taste things in a meditative state that obviously are not in my mouth, it's in my mind. But yeah, some people have heightened ability to be able to taste stuff. Okay, and then the last one, this is claircognizance. And claircognizance is basically just a sense of knowing. This is one of my primaries. I can be talking to somebody when I'm in a psychic session or a reading or whatever you want to call it. And sometimes I'll just know stuff. Sometimes people will come in and ask questions that have never been asked to me before, on stuff that maybe I haven't really researched, and I'll find myself saying something like, oh, I've always thought, or just answering something really quickly with conviction and authority that I didn't give any thought to. It just comes out of my mouth, and I sometimes am like, what? I probably should have thought about that first, but it's pretty sound, so it's not coming from me. It's just the ability to know, because you're able to tap in to the knowledge that's all around you, because it exists like here, but that's for another time. So yeah, so those are all of your clairs. And when people think about psychics, they think about, oh, you have to have the clairs to be psychic. Well, we all possess them to a certain degree anyway. And how do you build your psychic? You practice your psychic. What's a really good exercise to practice your psychic? Ooh, meditation. Yeah. You didn't think that was going to be the answer, did you? Surprise! It's like, how do you get no cavities? You brush your teeth. Yeah, so meditation. There's a million different ways to meditate, okay? So don't feel like if you want to start meditating that because you can't sit there and make your mind empty that it ain't for you. There's a lot of ways. A lot of people go into meditative states without even realizing it. For me, I find a really lovely meditative state when I'm bike riding. I'm just very focused on the activity, and it allows my mind to process thoughts and let them go instead of processing thoughts by them sticking and then overthinking them. It's just like watching them kind of float by and letting your mind just kind of be empty and aware at the same time. For me, that's what it's like when I'm bike riding. Also, beach walks are really awesome for me. I find those to be very meditative. I would like to do breath work. I'm not gonna lie, it's a struggle for me. It's something that I'm practicing, but it's not something that I feel proficient at or that I feel it's not my jam right now. Maybe it will be my jam in a week or 2 weeks or a month or next year. Who knows? Just gotta be real kind, compassionate, and patient with yourself. And I saved the best for last. The best psychic ability that we all have that people don't talk about is your imagination. That's really the key. That's really the magic. That's where it really comes through. So we're just gonna talk on this briefly and then I'll let y'all go. Imagination. All right, first, we must realize that as we exist on this planet, as we exist on this, I don't know, matrix, whatever you want to call it, level of consciousness, 3D, 4D, 5D, 2D, 1D, where this physical world is 3D, in case you're wondering. That we all experience things differently. I'm sure everybody, I love this example, everybody knows somebody that doesn't like pizza. And you probably look at them and go, what do you mean you don't like pizza? Unless you're that person, then you're going, hey, why are you calling me out? It's not weird, I just don't like it. And you're right, you just don't like it. But yeah, one time I knew somebody who didn't like pizza, and the other thing that they didn't like was chocolate. I was like, are you crazy? But that's their experience. So what does it mean to experience things differently? A lot of times we as humans have a hard time with understanding this because we experience from here this. We don't experience from another person this way. So pizza's a great example. It's all the same ingredients, right? But when you have two people eat it and they have taste buds in their mouth, right? So they eat it, but the way those taste buds translate the information to the brain, it is different, even though it's really the same processes and everything. So we all experience things differently. Oh, here's another great example. Boys fighting, okay? Like, I don't understand how guys can, like, get rough with each other and then be like, you're my best friend, man. Afterwards, terrifies me, absolutely terrifies me. If anyone came up and wanted to, like, throw punches with me, I'd be running in the other direction screaming. I'd probably be crying. Yeah, and it would be hard for me to gravitate back towards that person. So, even if they were my friend, ooh, there'd be some big walls. Like, you need to stay over there, and I stay over here. But this is all about experience. So we all experience things differently. Great, Kimberly, that's wonderful. Why are you wasting my time on this? What about imagination, psychic? Imagination, psychic. So when I say the word apple, okay? We all understand what that means. So now I ask you to look within yourself, and when I say apple, what generates in your mind? Some people may see a Red Delicious apple. Some people may see a Granny Smith apple. Some people may see a flashcard with the letter A and a drawing of an apple, okay? So, but nobody's wrong. Everyone has seen an apple in their mind in some way. So, yeah. So, imagination. Practice using your imagination. Feel free to daydream, read a book, and let your mind really start to envision, to hear, to taste when they talk about food, to smell when they talk about, going for a walk in the country and breathing the autumnal breeze. Practice envisioning and imagining what that would be like, what it is like. You'll be really surprised at how much information that you're reading, your imagination will pull through where it can almost feel real for you. And another thing that you have to understand is that when we receive message, that message is coming to us, and that we're going to perceive it in the way that will best translate for us. So that means that you're going to interpret it using your imagination. That's the key, and that's the magic. So yeah, people who don't practice using their imagination, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to develop their psychic. But people who use their imagination, and guess what? That little nugget I paid many thousands of dollars for. I believe it should be free. Yeah. I should say, like, if you want to donate to me, but I don't have any of that set up. So maybe in the future, if you ever see this and I do get it set up and you want to donate a love gift, I would be very appreciative. What would I use it on? Well, continuing my education. I think that's important. When you find something that really feeds your soul, go for it, people. Ooh, and I'm just going to leave you with this. On the feeding your soul part. If you can learn to feed your soul, you won't go hungry. That sounds stupid. Think about it. Anyways, I need to go get ready. Thank you for having my morning session with me. And until next time, whenever that may be, love, light, and gratitude, y'all. I am so blessed and appreciative and humbled to be able to share with you and for you to find value in what I say. If what I say resonates, please take it and use it. If it doesn't, sayonara. It's not for you. That's totally fine. Follow your path. May you find your way to your highest and best and live in love and peace. All right. Happy Saturday.